Hello and welcome. Yeah, this is the catch-up section, so I thought I'd take this. I was just finishing off, so we're just going to run this back, and this is you can see in the distance the field has got straw in it. Now my plan was to buy the second field, but unfortunately we've been scuppered by the fact that we got the ability to buy a Russell mash for 40-odd thousand, and I thought, you can't miss something like that. Although you wanted to buy a second field, sometimes you get a deal of a lifetime and you've just got to say yes. So we've also though got an RQ-SAN. We've got to go square baler, so we do need to lease one of those over this coming session too, and I've got to manually do that. We shall see how big they go. Yeah, the 240s are now. I don't think Giants will have changed it. They are smaller than the 180s, which was a bit of a shock to me. Right, so then we're going to need to borrow this. I do love the way Sariga does his. I would imagine this one should be tall enough. So we had 23,000 litres of corn that we got off the field. We've not been selling anything. I was trying to buy the second fields, but obviously things didn't work out right. What we've got, I think I'm happier that it's been slower progress with the fields, but we've got lots of good equipment. Oh, it does. Yeah, I'm gonna say I wasn't sure if it was going to let me get away with it then, but it did. Yeah, we've got a lot of honey to sell. That's the biggest asset we've got at present. So that is what we're going to do. Yeah, we're going to start putting some sheds down as well, but it's just been cash. We've sort of got a shed anyway. We've got a roof already. What I did before was I stuck, I'll show you. Yeah, on the Let's Play that I spoke about, that is, this is sort of like the same thing. What I did on that, and may well do again, is so that you can actually pass through, I put certain kinds of sheds down, like say this. Yeah, we know it overlaps, so you can actually run straight through without the back. Obviously, it does mean you've got to be careful about what you stick in there. I think actually I prefer the Omatoners. There's also there's this one that's also backless, where you could sort of go through. But if you've got to leave it open, then you really sort of so. I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one. But you can also start to chop that little tree down and go through there, really, I suppose, and then you could just have back ones. What I was also doing was sort of this, where in real life you really wouldn't build bits, obviously you'd go around it, but you can sort of simulate that, because it does sort of allow you to get away with, so you're really not losing any space with that particular sort of thing. So we could do that. Not for a lot of cash. That's my idea. I did sort of do something very similar. Obviously different sheds, but yeah, we did. So I think next session, with the biggest thing we want to be doing is shifting the honey and all of those. It's going to be a monster loading session. Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't realise it ever did something like that. Why is it overspilling like that? I've never known it to pack on top of it. So it could be the unevenness of the ground. These are the consequences of going on uneven ground that you don't think of. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, we've got an awful lot of work on over the next coming sessions, because we've got to grab that straw off and bale it, and most of all, this new Deutz is going to be busy with loading. Yeah. Definitely. Well, I'm glad we've finally got a tractor that can, and it's only 156 horsepower or something like that. So it's a bit of a low, but it's still very worthy. It's going to be useful. We've got a repair point to put down. So yeah, we're going to stick this lot down. We're going to make 50% markup on our, and that beautiful Fendt can be the, yeah, we won't, yeah, the Iseki can. Well, I like the colours of the... what are the two little blue ones? Are they smaller versions? Or I don't know, because... yeah, I'm not really sure. So let's get this ready for action as best we can. not sure which is the best way to actually do this. Probably like that. So next session, we're going to get cracking with that. So yeah, we sort of like spent money like water. We were doing well, and then all of a sudden we got the RQ-SAN, and we got the windrower, and we got 3 pieces of very important equipment for the farm, and that outweighed to me personally the buying of the second field. So we may have to like put some of our productions down and maybe block one of the arches off, like have it. I suppose it's sort of, no, we can't, we need that one to be free. So we could, I suppose, if that is the case, that's true, I think it will go through there. I think the one, no, that's true, I've not seen this yet, what it actually looks like, but I have made one, it might need to look at what it says. Now that is real, that enhanced bakery and meal there. Now this is the one, it has done it. It's done the cornflour. Fantastic. I don't know if it's, now this was a bit, I went out on a limb really with the spelling of this. So yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I added so this is to make the cornbread from the corn. I did try, I thought, well, let's do it myself. And I might have had limited success, so that's 27,000. And what was the other? I did do an oil mill. Yeah, still does the pig food. Grapes and oils. Yeah, this is the one I specially did. I added the 2 because I'm going to often link these if I'm going to use them. So that does oils as well as the grape side of things. So it did work. I might change the colours though to be a more purpley colour. No, we've already got that with the sugar mill. We could do a slightly different. I suppose we could go. Already got a brownie as well. Yeah, we're running out of colours. We'll figure something out, but I do like that. It's actually quite a nice colour, the turquoise, anyway, with the cannery, the soup factory. I took it off my favourite model because it has the pig food built into it, or the ability to have it. But obviously this is new recipes. Just see what's right. We need to have the yellow. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's going to go right through there. And we're going to like make the loading really difficult if we do that. So I suppose, yeah, we need to unload. As I say, it might have to sort of, I don't want to steal any of the front because this is the farmyard. Oh, we might have to like take a loan out because there's no room at the inn unless we've got starting to eat into the field a bit more. I did sort of say that about like going all the way down here with things. I suppose we could sort of do that because we've got 2 productions at the very least, 3 productions actually, which would take all of our cash. Obviously we're going to earn some as well, but we really need to start our businesses. So to me, we've got no option really. I mean, we've got the rice to make rice flour. We've got an awful lot of businesses ready to do that we really need to do. So I think we might have to do what I said originally, which is obviously we've got to lift the straw up first next session. We'll get that done first. It makes sense. And then we'll start, I think, to build at the end of the sheep field. I think we're going to have to because we've got our businesses. We can't not do that anymore. And we'll also do some selling of like the things like the vegetables. It's not going to bring us an awful lot in, but it will, in a way, it will have paid for the greenhouses. I don't know why they're so slow in comparison to the ones that I've done, but it's all beginning to take shape. I'm quite liking this. It would make sense, though, to chop this thing down. Ooh. Oh, no, it is. It looked like I could see underneath it, but I can't. But I suppose it don't really matter, because you've got these 2 things in the way, so I think we'll leave it where it is. We've got that as well. That's sort of like coming this way. So no, we'll leave this as it is. Yeah, it's going to be tricky to get those bits and bobs out from that place, though. But it is what it is. That's farmyards for you. Yeah, you'd never get it perfect. So right, that's what we're going to do next session. So really, that's all we did. A bit of buying and selling. Not an awful lot. I was saying this. It's sometimes it's typical when you could really do with a leg up, and you could do with loads of big things, but they refuse to drop, and you just get little things, and you make a few thousand, and that it's the luck of the draw in it. When you're trying to like buy a field, you can guarantee that it ain't gonna work, and it didn't. So, but we got the equipment instead. You can't have it always. You can't have your cake and eat it, as that old saying goes. So 23 odd tons of corn, which we're going to make into corn flour. We'll grab let's just, in fact, let's ask the store to deliver. Yeah, and this is the last thing we'll do. I hope I remember. So we're going to lease a baler, and it's going to be a square baler. It wants to be, it doesn't, yeah, really, it doesn't make any difference. I think that is the cheapest one. We don't care about the windrow because they're already in big sort of sections, so we'll go for that one. It's the cheapest, and we do want some twine. Lease you for 8,412. Oh my life! Yes, Gordon Bennett. Wow, they are expensive. They are. Let's reset. So let me just one last thing. I know I've already said that a couple of times, but I do want to set this at 240 straight away because I know what I'm like. I'll like to be 2 bales in and I think, oh, they're the wrong size. So let's do this ready for next session. We'll get that. That's got to be me as well, because obviously we didn't follow a courseplay course because courseplay couldn't work out. Now this is what I said, I could have done that. I just need to do a bit of painting along the edge, and then courseplay would, like the normal workers, will recognise. Right, so let's stop waffling for 1 second. And there we go, 240s. The RQ10 can cope with that. So that is where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave that for the Fent though. We're going to do the loading, and obviously, yeah, I've got to do that myself. So it's going to be, I would say, at least 2 separate sessions, because one of the primary things we need to do is to sell. We do. I love the way that they stack like that. That's quite amazing. There's an awful lot of honey there though. So not that I'm complaining. That's going to earn us about 30 odd grand, I think, which is a nice place to be. Right, that's for next session there. So you can see things are starting to take shape. Don't know, again, there's going to be lots of, well, actually, no. The one thing I'm disappointed in is the standard greenhouses. Yeah, they're really very poor. I don't think there's much. Oh, no, there is. Oh, my life, there is. There's an awful lot inside as well. So that's going to keep us. Yeah, this is what I didn't understand. They're identical. So how come these ones aren't doing very well? Like, yeah, because we haven't run out of water or manure. I mean, we do need to top it up, I might add. But yeah, the manure's gone down very little. Why has one gone down hardly at all and one has? They're identical. So if there's an error on one, unless... No, there's no rhyme nor reason for that. They're both active and there's no errors on them. They're both exactly the same model. So why is one not doing it and one is? On the greenhouse front, that makes no sense at all. It was a little bit like that glitch we had where it was throwing them out, and then once we got these, the grapes come, then obviously, yeah. So we're going to be making olive oil and grape juice and raisins. Again, let's have a quick look at the price on that. Yeah, I've said that we're doing this, and I've not even checked the prices, but I mean, it's set what grapes you would get. 646, and now then grape juice should be G, is 3 times the amount, so that's definitely a good little earner. And then raisins are about the same, so that's a good little earner. And then the olive oil is very good. That's the best oil price I've ever seen in, like, since I've done oils quite a lot. That's a really good price actually. So the olive oil is well worth doing. Oh wow, 2.8 is the highest, nearly 3,000 in June. So I think we'll be chucking that down as soon as possible. The oil stroke grape thing, and we will start to use it and earn a bit of cash. So Yeah, that's true. Was the grape juice, did that have like a high as well? Because I didn't look at the graph properly, if I'm honest. No, that's fairly standard. The best is in February, so we missed the boat for that. But it's 1561 at its very lowest. So to be honest, it's one of those that goes up and down every sort of few days, and it's not a bad price all of the time, which I think it was in FS22 as well. So that is what we're going to go to. We obviously have got quite a lot. I mean, an awful lot. And then, of course, we've got this. Yeah, I'd hate to think. This needs knocking down. I was thinking about this. Yeah, I'm going to knock that down, the recipe, so it does 2 tons rather than 4 a month, because I think that's just way too much. Yeah, bearing in mind it makes a mockery of a normal rice field, and I know it's supposed to represent a production where it's not necessarily the size that you see and things like that, but it's still too good. So I think if you got 24 tons of like that from a production like that in a year, that is a good go. And so to get 48 is just a little bit too good, really, I think. But again, I will how much have we actually got in that greenhouse? Our storage is up to 45 tons on top of what you see. So 49, yeah, it's 48 odd tons. Like I said, it's a year, isn't it? So that is what we've got. I mean, they're 25 and 16. Yeah, I'm not too unhappy with that. I don't know why the grapes are less, because they're identical. Yeah, there's some weird discrepancies on this. If you think about this, the cycles are identical. Why do grapes not produce as much as olives? It makes no sense to me. Mathematics is mathematics. There's obviously some skullduggery going on the giant side where things don't quite add up. It's got to be the case. Maths is maths. It's true. The numbers don't lie, and they are. Hang on. You say that. Is it the amount of grapes? It is. It is. There's double the amount of that. You see, there you go. It is maths, and that's what I was saying. Really. Yeah, there was the 6 ones, isn't there? For yeah. So again, if the olives, one of them's got one less than the one. No, yeah. There's something not quite right. I think there's one extra olive as well, or something like that, in the planters. So therefore, one of them's got slightly more of an advantage. But the maths don't lie. It's true. It's right. So this one, I'm going to take that down as I leave right now, and half the amount, because I think the output on this is just too stupendous. I want everything to be balanced. I don't want anything to be cheaty. I want it to be good, but not silly good. Yeah, like there were some mods in FS22 that were like crazy good. That's if you wanted to just make a fortune just like with no effort, then there were certain mods that were like that, and they are not the kind of mod. I don't want that reputation for making. I want to be reasonable. All of our equipment is made from reclaimed materials, so therefore it is cheaper than a lot of others, but that's about the only thing. And also the other thing is they're usually bigger on the inside because they're made by BI, bigger on the inside industries. So yeah, that is also a thing. And we do tend to use old silos for our models for production, because there's an awful lot of storage and converted rooms inside there for you to maximise your realism of having something that is big but like also is not too big, because it's round and it goes up high rather than. But there's certain situations, like if you're building under a bridge, where that's not necessarily an advantage. Unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, that doesn't happen very often. So right, and that is it. Yeah, that was the session really. We did our harvest, and we've got the straw to do, and we're burgeoning out on all of our equipment. So it really is time for us to put our things down, even if we do take up part more of this field, and we have like a bit there. When we do buy that field, we're going to plough them into one, and it's going to be making a reasonable field out of what's left of this one. But even if we didn't, and all we did was we convert the entire field to the farm, it wouldn't really matter. We've still got the businesses that we've got so far, and there's a lot of it, and there's a lot of things to sell as well. So this year of farming, I would imagine, has actually done us proud, and that's Obviously, we've got the rope factory to put down as well. That one I'm looking forward to doing, to see. To show you, no, should show you how much. It only shows you the individual pallets, doesn't it? So I think it does show you if you do this though. It should show you, yeah, 12,000 litres of wool, at least 12,000 litres. It might be bits of pushing off the edge as well, but that is a lot of wool to make into ropes. So we probably will just stick as many of our things and get all of our businesses churning to make some cash. Again, rope, I'm not sure if there's a like a month where rope is better. We ought to check that out as well, because if it's like, well, we've missed the boat if it's soon. No, April to September. In fact, if you look at the price, it's actually good. I think I said this last time. You'd sell rope whenever you want, so that is quite amazing. So yeah, all that's left to say is, it's. I hope you enjoy the rest of the session. Right, well, this one appears. Courseway doesn't like the fact that it still sees it as one field, so it's not surprising really that the other workers were the same, because it obviously have enabled straw swath. It should be Yeah, now I can see why somebody made a mod for this, because when FS25 first arrived, it literally didn't do that. So I'm going to do this myself. Yeah, why not? For once. Yeah, rather than like set a worker who's going to randomly decide that he's going to do the top as well. Not sure about the straw, but I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. There we were, done. Yeah, it's we haven't got any means of lifting the straw, and it's not going anywhere, and there's no way we can do a crop. We've missed everything anyway, so we'll, if we get something over the winter, obviously the biggest goal is to buy the field next door, but we will allow the farmer. I'll try to be realistic. We will allow the farmer to. Well, we haven't got any equipment either. So to me, it's a matter of strategic buying, but that means we're sort of going to have to hang on a little bit. Also, we'll give the shop a ring and ask them to take this away. Not that there's any point in hiding behind a thing, because you see it disappear off the minimap anyway now, which is the most ridiculous thing the Giants have done ever. With bearing in mind their partners, they've looked after them very well, haven't they? I mean, we're talking about realism now. That's the wrong one, Mr. Smith. You don't need that one at all. Yeah, no, it is. I did see that myself straight away, and I thought, well, that's a bit. Their partners, they like look after you, and they sort of say things, and a lot of them really downplay some of the serious, like faults that we've got with the game. I mean, I've got to. One of them that I saw, not one of the big names, but he is a big name, as in like someone with an awful lot of following. And I thought, you should look after your people first. Never mind about your partner program malarkey. Right, return, yes. Yeah, the fact that they've got a little picture now that disappears, I just find ridiculous. Yeah, it just seems a bit of a smack in the teeth to those who create content. Really? Yeah, do we really care about seeing it on the minimap? Oh, it's one of the worst things ever thought out. Because, obviously it draws your attention to it straight away. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's Giants. It's maybe no malice, hopefully. Although if you're a modder, you do see different sides to Giant software, really. I don't particularly get a good impression from it, really, if I'm totally truthful. My very first one was rude. There's no other way you can actually put that. It was a rude comments, really, from Giants that I thought, well, that's my welcome to the world of modding. It was the second one, I've got to be honest, was a little bit more polite and not so blunt, but it was not too bad. It was a rejection is often served softly, and the first one was certainly not served softly, really, because nobody likes to be rejected, even if it's just because it's a base game edit or something like that, even though there are lots of base game edits in the game even now. But I don't mind. I can cope with that. They have got to have a selection process, of course. I think it was twice I also did my other one. I thought that one might be successful. Although it was a base game edit, it was quite a good thing that I thought would be quite useful for a lot of people. But again, it's not so nastily, and that's all that really matters to me. But we've got a lot of wool, but obviously we've got the I thought I'd put the grass to the max. I thought I might have guessed it a bit better. Yeah, the one thing I did use was if you used to roll off and then back on again, it would build it up in layers, and you could actually make quite a mound. That it doesn't seem to recognise that anymore. You just have to keep moving and moving and moving, and it'll do a bit of a mound, but it never gets any higher. I think that's, in real life it would actually do what they used to do. So certain things are not as they actually should be. So really, we've got we've just got to carry on. Now then, I believe, they are sugar beets, so that'll be probably tomorrow. And then if we're going to take the loan out, we also need to start to put our productions down, but we do need to literally take the loan out as well. So let's go through till tomorrow morning. Obviously, we know the animals are fed because we just did it. So, and it is 9 o'clock. Yeah, obviously things are... It's not been terribly slow, and we've got animals. I've got to be honest, sheep are the least. Sheep and chickens have very little trouble at all. So easy with just grass or just... oh, wow, that's still... Yeah, of course, it's going to fill in the spaces that I've just cleared, isn't it, really? Right, another tractor. We can't even afford it. This one is a 200... Oh, this is the biggie. Right. Now, that would be useful. Is that the one I don't like? Or is there's a new one as well? I think that's the new one. That's the old one. That's the one I don't like. That one I do like. Yeah, I don't like the curtain. You've got no choice. It's got that curtain side of the thingy. So if we... Let's knock up our cash first of all. Our finances will lend another... That's it. That'll do nicely. We'll buy the big Deutz. It's half price as well. And then we'll go and see it's like a smaller... Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Oh. No, it's that one. I think that is reset. Where are you? We'll run you back to the store. My bad. I think the pink... I do love the pink corners, I've got to be honest. In situations like this where you like transport... Oh, I've been charged for that as well, you know. For the pleasure. It is my own fault. If you're going to use things like that, we all know. I mean, we did it on camera for once. We did it actually on camera, so it wasn't bad. But nevertheless, that is annoying. Oh, it's so nice to be back on Pallegney. And with a bit of mist as well, which is... And I love the rays that go through the mist. It is quite phenomenal. Yeah, it really is. I've got to be honest. Yeah, I've not... there are some telltale signs on the desktop, but not like there was on the laptop. Yeah, it's definitely not as bad, not as noticeable. Right, now then, so let's... Yeah, side by side, there isn't a lot in it, I don't think, between these two models. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, really, they look like the same model, but obviously we know this has got a lot more under the hood. But I do think that one actually can go up to quite a high. I think it's like 247. I think that is the model up where it really is. Let's make sure this is ours. I presume so. Yeah, ours is a bit further back. I don't think you could, it's luckily for us. So we want to sell that one. Now then, if we were going to keep that, so that means it would be going into square bales, which I haven't done yet. So far I've gone on to the round, because the round are bigger. If you go for the 180s, well, they were originally, whether that's been amended. The only advantage I can see to having a square baler is the fact that it used to be size, and you would have thought they were bigger, really, is the fact you've got a lot more baler twine. That seems to be the only advantage to me, so I'm not sure. But it would be nice to have I mean, the only bad thing is they're buying a square baler. There are no cheap square balers yet. The ARM team have not released. Don't sell that. Yeah, so 3 odd grand for that. And I think we're going to need things. So 9 meters not a bad... Isn't that yeah, I was going to say, really, when you consider that is actually quite poor. I'll tell you why. Unless the price is, and I'm imagining it, if I go to windrowers, I think you can get the brand spanker for like... Yeah, I'm sure the Sam has us. I mean, we're talking like 0.6 of a metre. It really is very poor. Very poor. But it's still less than. It would be nice to have one. This one's for us. And this likewise is also for us. So, yeah. And then we'll pay back our loan and see what we're really left with, because I think you'll find, if we press the right button, that is, that here we are now, 81,000. Yeah, we have lost, but we've gained 2 bits of equipment. You can't have it both ways, can you really? I mean, I've got to be honest, for the Arcusan at that price, but we are now looking for a square baler, which they tend to be rather a lot of expense, so it's a bit of a limb drop, this, really. It really is. That's just for now. Stick that like... Oh, I'm bashing into the fence. I was going to say, I'm sure I've got a bit of resistance going there. Thought we were actually a bit better. Right, that'll do. It's still not a very good go, really, that, I've got to be honest. We're still going to be blocking the shop where it spawns, the spawn point. So let's stick this a little bit better. Yeah, we won't repair them yet. We're already hemorrhaging money, and we're really trying to go up in money. But it's true, some deals are just too good to miss. So right, 81,551. Our animals, how are they doing? Yeah, I like to focus on this because obviously these actually do give birth fairly quickly. Yeah, that we know that's absolutely fantastic. The wool is chocker. Yeah, so but again, we've really now. We should see that farmer. This is the best time of year I always find. Never really used to pay much attention to this, but the best time I think to buy a field is about to like November. So they've not done it. So they'll either let it wither, or they're going to get it this month. So we shall see in the morning what way that goes. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of the virtual farmers, as in the AI virtual farmers, they do seem to let a lot of their crops wither, which again, the realism element, I always think, that's a nice little tick up, an 8.5, 69% off, that is amazing. I think a harvest could manage that, you know. Right, let's sell you, which we can only just afford. And I think we'll see how much our original header is. It's been sitting on the sidelines. They do normally, you sort of can normally get away with leaving it on the side for quite a bit, and you still get your bonus. I tried it once. I've got to be honest, it's not something I've done a lot. I did do it once and it really did work. I do love the fact that the Merlot's a tractor. It's amazing. That's why I thought it's more apt, I think, for this down at the store, because there's a lot of things that when you had a telehandler, you'd still got to run your own tractor down to do certain implements. So this is sort of quite a bonus to the fact that the Merlot does it itself. I loved having this on Hoot and Pantai, the Merlot. Yep, that's made us quite a few thousand. And let's just go and see. So that's only 14,487. How much would we get for our Massey one? I mean, I've got to be honest, I don't know if you noticed, but the Massey Red and the Case Red are very similar. It's not, and not sure if it was always that way. I think I had a bit of a mental block on trying out all the headers. You know, I sort of like always insisted, not that, I mean, I did try like a Russell mash, and it only went on a Russell mash. And it was that, I think, I got in my head that, you know, like they were all different. But then, I don't know whether they were in FS25, whether some of them didn't, you know, like Russell mashes were, and the classes, the low-end classes too. Will it actually pay for that and gives a little few thousand as well? So why would you not do that? Yeah, win-win, bigger, less, or if it is, it might have been a 0.1 of a meter different. I'm not sure if that was an 8.6. Let's just quickly go and run that straight back where it was before, so it doesn't take up a bay. So we're at 97,872, which is not a bad place to be, really. Let's just push that a little like that, and then we'll move it. Let's see if we can get this in one. I mean, we don't know. Obviously, I'm going on the Massey because I do like that. If I see that in the sales, I frequently will. Okay. Frequently will have it because I do really like it. So frequently again, the Rossa mash drops too. Are they snowflakes? I think they are, aren't they? And that's not forecast. No, those dust motes. Fantastic. So it still needs repairing, but yeah, that was quite a bit of a... Right, so I would say field is withered. They didn't look after their crop, so we need to be loaning a bit. Which is 142. Gordon Bennett, we're going to be in debt badly, aren't we? Do we give it a couple of months to see if... Because the earliest anyone can sort of sow crops is, I think, February for, like, cotton. So let's just run with it a little. We may or may not have to, like, lease a lot. Depends on what drops in the on the sales. That's one of those good things about being a start from scratch or all. I mean, well, no, really, this type of thing you can do on any game, really, all the way through the winter. I actually quite like this. For those who are not don't go into forestry, I think, oh yeah, but that was predictable, really. Okay, 21 metre. Now it's surprising how often that actually comes up in the sales. It would make us a few thousand. I'm not going to get the other one though. Just grab this one thing today. I think it's typical, isn't it? When you would really like things in the sales, you can guarantee. You know, when you need it, all of a sudden you need it. But it's not going to drop now. You're going to get little things and make a few thousand because you need it. I mean, we have got sort of things to sell as well. But I was trying to buy the field. Yeah, sort of going into the ground a bit, and it's imaginary arms. Its frame. Oh, okay, I may just get that, just maybe. Fantastic. Okay, so although we have got the others, we're going to leave that because of the leasing of other things to actually get the Load King, and that's a 490 at 10%. So I think we'll say no. So this is the earliest month that crops could be, and we could always run with it for a year if we needed to. Just like get the top of the field ripped up with a plough if we needed. It's if the like going to plant in February. That's what I mean. Right, so February. Oh, now then, let's put the cat amongst the pigeons, hasn't it? Yeah, we do, but we're going to keep it ourselves, which means we're right down to 71,485. So we are the proud owners of a Rossa mash. I'd said this often comes in the so it looks like we're going to have to stick with our single field right now because this was just too good a thing to. I mean, 42,000 for a harvest. It's practically half price. 75,000 is good for one of these anyway. So to get it for that, good solid starting harvest. I think it'll manage that as well. Just it was like a little bit bigger. Why steps that side? Why am I crashing against? I would have thought I was all right at that. Right, okay. So we've got quite a few purchases, really. I've got to be honest. So although we're at 71,485, we've obviously probably got to lease, and it would make sense to lease a square baler for next session. So that's true. We're about to go through to March, yeah, because we're not worried about. There's no way we're like getting that field now, is there? Really, on the money we've got left, it would be we're on at 8 as well now. Back to normal, yeah. So we all got even if we've got a lease, which we're not seeing a single baler. But I think there's any cheap ones. Yeah, those beautiful 12 grand old square balers that we used to get in FS25 and FS19. None of those at the minute. presets, and the extended reach. I think this is Cesarius modding, I think. Right, it's an easy 6,000, isn't it? So let's go for it. We really could do with the, yeah, we may as well do them both at the same time. Right, fantastic. Yeah, we know there's no more space, we know. Now, I don't know again if they actually spawn or whether you lose them. I'm not sure how it works in FS25. I know FS22, you did sort of get them back. That's a bit tight, that is. I still think the scaling on that's a bit strange. I might be wrong. Yeah, the bays seem right. Just that it seems a little bit made for like 4-foot people. And there's nothing wrong with 4-foot people. What I mean is, if you was any higher than 4 foot, it's not really so nice. All right, let's grab you. No, I think it's an optical illusion because you are quite high in the tractor. I don't think this would go under. Yeah. Yeah, you really need a reference. So for once, you need to have you in third person. No, he is. He's like 12 foot high. So yeah, it is an optical illusion. It just goes to show how actually high you sit in a tractor for your head to be like on level with. It's not a bad thing. It's the only thing that puts me off a little is its spread is not terribly. Is it 12 or 14 meters? I don't mind 18. 18 I can sort of like think, oh, okay. I mean, we've got some 15s. Now let's just change that back to normal. But 18's a one that I like think, yeah, that's not bad. Fantastic. So we're in March, and yeah, we need to grab the straw off, so we're going to lease for next session. We also need to buy a front loader because I think there's a lot of stuff we're going to need to sell. We're going to have to sell some honey now. I think it's next session. It's a matter of like selling that, which we're going to make quite a bit more than that. Maybe some of the like normal things like chili peppers and garlic. I think what we'll do, bearing that in mind, we'll grab a front loader. We will buy one because it seems silly to me to not. So front loader, which is actually right at the top, Mr. Smith. You should know this by now. So front loaders, and we're going to go with, that's the bigger quick for the bigger ones. And it is just its reach, isn't it really? But at the minute, I think we'll go the middle of the range, and we will go Deutsch screen, I think. Wow, it's free. I never knew that. Design colour. We'll still stick it as it is. It looks quite nice with those colours. So yes, please. It's nice that we don't get a charge any extra. And we're going to need a front loader tool, the quick with transport straps without the camera. 3, we don't collisions. And we'll keep the main colour black, and we'll go design colour. Then red, I like that. It's a really nice red. And now we also need a weight. Say it all adds up. Oh no, we're not. Oh no, we are out. I thought we were still in the front loader section. Weights. Let's go for the pass through. It's so very useful. I think it's not that one. It is that one. I think that's the biggest it is of the ones that I like, the pass throughs. With. And no, we don't care about the. We'll go Deutsch screen as well. No, I think we'll go black. I do actually. With and jet black. Yes, 2000. please. We will indeed have that. We're also going to need to have a trailer, and my normal one is out of bounds at the minute, unfortunately. So I think it is actually in, yeah. This is another one that's very reasonable, not as, or do we buy ours? Or ours is dearer though. I think sometimes I think to have a proper one in here, I like that, but I don't like the sides. It's a shame, so I'm not going to buy that. I might even take it out. I like it. This one's really very reasonable too, and it has got the ability to grab a vehicle too. It's a little bit dearer than the my TPS, but I think this one works, whereas the TPS actually doesn't at the minute. So yeah, well, it works, but sort of it like drags in the ground. So oh my life, we might have to go through till tomorrow. Let's just go and select this and grab it all, and we'll ask the Merlot if it could stick those. May as well take the planter up with us as well. That's the only thing we can take. So I don't know that we're going to be bailing. Really? No, that's true. It's going to be a little bit tricky to be bailing, isn't it? So it looks like the game's saying that we should start perhaps in April. I think. Oh, did we check the animals in our rush to? Yeah. Oh, we've had another 40 births though. And the other 6-month-year-olds, they're actually almost, out of puberty as well. So we're soon going to have 80 wool-producing sheep, which is, no, it's not bad. Let's grab that. Oh, yes, put the weight, the worst possible place for us, but that's what you get. Oh, okay. Right, we're going to have to sort of like get creative, I think, for this one. So we're going to have, well, I suppose we did want to nudge the RQ sound. Oh, wow. I suppose it helps. The snow would be a little slippery. Oh, wow. Yeah, it does work. Its hitch is very high, so it does make this look a little bit odd. But it does actually work. At least I think it does. Oh, it doesn't. Right, okay, well, we have the technology. We can do this at the front for this particular thing. Oh, great. Couldn't have done that any worse if I'd have tried, could I? That's just typical. Just typical. The amount of times over my virtual farming career that I've done such things as that. Crazy. Oh. You know how many times hang on a minute. This is not, it has got one of those hitches. That's a bit odd. Yeah, there weren't any options on this either, so it can only be... Yeah, but I've got one of those hitches. We can all see the ball hitch that's there. So why... Oh, why is that not working? Oh, that's a little bit odd. Yeah, that's never going to reach it. But it's not that kind of hitch anyway. That's probably why that one didn't actually say I'll pick it up, because it's not the right hitch. Whereas the one on the back of this is. I don't get it. Why do you get this? Just try the Merlot. I don't know. Poleaxed and defeated by a trailer. So let's not sideload that just yet. No, it is sideloaded. Yeah, let's not sideload that. If we can't make use of this, or only say, oh, the snow is receding, so we're all right actually. Fantastic. So we can lease a square baler. No, this is the same. Wow. So we're going to have to like manhandle it. Well, I'll take that one out as well then, because it's of no use to me if I can't ever get a tractor to grab it. That's a bit poor. Apologies, modder, but yes. If you want people to download and use, you've really got to make it so it's usable. Unless it was your design that only cars can actually grab this. It may not be. Yeah, I'm not like that. I must admit, I usually allow modders quite a while, probably about 6 months before. Yeah, let's drop that. Before I would like ever remove it. Yeah, I think in FS22, Sariga, before I knew Sariga, and so we lost a little bit, but not an awful lot. Right, so that's no use to me either, which means the only one is the self-made, I really think. So we probably are better, but I don't know that I can afford 7,000 for mine. It does have a bale trailer configuration, but well, we could lease, I suppose. We could lease a trailer. I'm trying to think, because we're going to need to like use one. We're not seeing one. That's a nice one. We could. No, that's true. Yeah, we could, I suppose. Is the TPS going to work? It's only funny on bumpy sort of things, so we could lease one. I know it seems a strange thing, but at the minute I don't really particularly want to own one. It's a bale transport. The TPS, and we will lend that. Lease it. We do, yes. Fantastic, and I've got to hope that this will, yeah, we're just going to sideload this last job of the day, of the session, should I say, and I'll, let's see, grab that. So we've got the Russell Mash, we have our own harvester, and a square bale loader as well. Yeah, it's something wrong with the wheel. It's sort of like ethereal when it should be solid, and solid when it should be ethereal. So it's a bit of a strange one. Let's grab this. And we'll stick that on as well. May as well. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be too high for doing that little trick that giants do allow you to do. Of like, I think it'll nudge it and move it. Yeah, I thought so. So we just want to drop it in normal methods. And we'll lift it on. Yeah, I started, FS22 I began to do this where I'm like realistically side loading equipments, and I do really, there's there's only this as the only piece of equipment we can actually do. It's best where the axle is, and that could be taken back and probably grabbed off. I might do this. Yeah, I've switched the course place sort of sign off. It's now got the, I didn't realise there was such a setting, but there's a setting that you can just do it with messages, so it only appears when there are messages, which is absolutely amazing. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. We're down to 81,591. We're not buying a second field because we've sort of like had a lot of equipment drop, but it would have been just too good at. Now, did we actually get rid of the loan? Have we still got that hanging around us? No, we did clear that. At least that's something. So somehow we're either going to have to use that more as a farmyard and like put some of our... We've got to put the productions down. We're running out of like... Yeah, I mean... I'm trying to think. Or do we like see... Yeah, we'll see what... I'm going to say my goodbyes because I'm going to do this as the roundup. Yeah, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.